Hello everyone, I am Ningambika GMT, Assistant Professor, Department of MBA, Sai Vidya Institute of Technology. Welcome you for the recruitment and selection session. So in the previous class, we learned about the first unit of the recruitment and selection. Today I'll be talking about the unit 2, that is internal hiring. So you can just make out in the picture. There is six people. Among them, one person is looking out for in detail and checking out the profile. So by that way, we can understand he is finding out a person inside the organization profile, choosing whom is suitable. So let us understand the meaning of internal recruitment. So internal recruiting is the process of filling vacancy within a business from its existing workforce. Inside the organization, they'll try to look out the employee who is suitable for the profile. So based on his experience, based on his skill set, will it be suitable for the profile? Then they can take out a person inside the organization. As the title says, internally they try to recruit a person existing with the existing workforce. So companies today use internal recruitment as a best source because that will encourage the loyalty, that can motivate the employees, as well as it reduces the cost, and it is more useful in terms of they can improvise the knowledge of an existing employee. So when a position opens in an organization, they typically post about the profile in the intranet of a company, either through job posting or through letters, that is career letters, or through cafeterias where they can just mention it there is an opening for a profile like a post or something. By this way, they can provide an awareness of a particular profile. Coming to the definition. So, hiring internally is a recruiting system through which current employees can be identified and considered for other jobs. They are already working in an organization for other profile. So, they will identify who is actually need for a change for a profile. Then they will take them as post based on his experience and availability of his a person in an organization based on the profile, they will consider him and give an opportunity to for further movement. So hiring internally demonstrate to your employees that you value them and that opportunities are available for them to develop their careers. By this way you can improve the motivation of an employee, as well as that will lead to them for the further career development. It is benefited for employee as well as for the organization also. So this is very much important when it is coming to the hiring internally. So why internal recruitment basically happens? How is it useful? So but many organizations have started to realize the benefits of looking internally before they advertise a position or engage the services of a recruitment consultant. Instead, you are going for a recruiting employee from outside the organization or through consultant basis. It's better if you look out a person inside the organization. Why? Basically, it reduces the time, it reduces the cost, it reduces training time. How is it is applicable? I just give an example and explain all about this. If there is an opening for a assistant HR manager, then they will try look out a person who is inside the organization with a well settled handful of experience or through employee referrals. When you get that person inside the organization only, the interview process will be less time taken, and also the money in terms of investing to get an recruitment advertising in some job portals instead, that cost can be reduced, right? And when it is coming to the training, since he is already there in the organization, induction will not take much time, and the training procedure it is only related to the which particular project or a process he is working it. And by this way they can improve the productivity. Since an employee already working in an organization, employer will be knowing about his work preferences, how does he work, what is his performance all about, is he doing the work on time or not. So you can gauge all these things and give a platform to a person who is actually suitable, where is productivity very good. By this way they can improve the productivity, and the employee morale can also be improved because the organization is giving a platform to improve his career. By that way they can increase his morale and motivation can be influenced very better way. Coming to the succession planning, so when you are giving an opportunity to an employee who is already there in an organization for further development, so that's it, that is the way you are trying to move him for his succession or making him a career planning. So that way, that will help him to lead to his long-lasting relationship in the organization. So these are the some of the benefits that can be accessible or understandable when it is coming to internal hiring or a recruitment. So coming to the advantages and disadvantages in terms of cost, time and quality and suitability. As all everyone know the coin has two faces, whereas one says head and the other says tail. So that again applicable for any type of a situation, any type of a things. So there will be advantages as well as disadvantages of anything. So let us understand what are the advantages of internal hiring. So the internal methods are time saving. No separate induction program is required. Since the person is already existing in an organization for so and so years, so he'll be well known about the organization process, policies, norms. So what are the departments are there? How does the work process happens? How the leave can be taken? How what are the norms? All end-to-end things will be known, which can be explained in the induction. So need not to give separate induction program to an existing employee who's going to the further job profile. And the next one is this method increases loyalty and reduces labor turnover. Since the person is already known about the organization, he'll be motivated because the organization is giving an opportunity to improve his work or in terms of career. By that way, he'll be very loyal to the organization as well as the person who is the labor turnover can be reduced. Few people who are existing in the organization without promotion and all they'll be working, so they'll wait for promotion, they'll do the best job even though they are not identified. Few people leave the company and go into join to the other organization. In that way the labor turnover will be high. So when you're moving them to the different region or giving some preferences that you'll be, since your performance is good, I'm moving to the other level, that way you can reduce the labor turnover and the employee can be motivated in a better way. So this method is less expensive as we discussed earlier. Good public relation exercise which improves goodwill of the organization because there is a good rapport between employee and employer already since he has worked in the some of the departments. So there will be a good public relation for further also, and that will create a goodwill of the organization, improves morale and motivation of employee. So whatever the type of working the employees does, so that way he will get motivated when he is giving a new opportunity, saying that this is helpful for your career terms. That way he'll increase the loyalty, moral, and he'll be more motivated to get more and more challenges to be accepted to work in a better way. So these are the advantages of internal hiring. Coming to the other part of it, that is disadvantages. So what happens when you are giving an opportunity inside the organization only? So you couldn't find new talents who are updated with the new things happening in the organization. So there are chances of biased. So since he is already working in an organization for longer period of time, he is very loyal to the managers. Whatever the manager says, he'll try to do it, and he'll be very fruitful to him. If he wants some things, he'll be very, like communicating in other way, they'll be stick on to the work that than stick on to the work. They'll be more concentrating outside the organization in terms of going out, chilling out something, etc. So there might be chances of biasing whether he work or not. He is good in terms of manager, they'll be treated as he is doing the work. So there might be chances of bias and partiality when you take a person inside the organization. So option is limited in locating right talented. Since you are getting the person inside the organization, getting the right talent person to a particular profile are very less options. So chances of employee discontent are very high. So people may not be motivated or worked in some cases because they take it things granted. I am always there. I was working in this organization for past so and so years. The employer might think, and he might be not work accordingly what the expectation of the organization. Encourages seniority more than merit. They try to give more and more opportunity to the senior people, like experienced candidate will get more opportunity than the freshers. So also organization may not get new ideas, excellence and expertise, and people may not get a proper suitable person who have a more of ideas, more excellency enterprise in terms of new projects, new working behavior that may not work out when it is coming to the internal hiring. So these are the advantages and disadvantages of internal hiring. This is a very important question they were asked in so many question paper of V2 MBA third sem HR specialization. Kindly concentrate on this particular topic. Coming to the policy guidelines and union settlements. So obviously in any organization there we have some set of policies which is laid on by the department or the organization. It's mandatory that they have to follow it in the organization when it is coming to any prospect. It might be recruitment, it might be training, or it might be terminating. So they have some policies should be laid on by, which is formed by the prospect in terms of employees as well as unions, what they feel and what they do it. So policies on recruitment selection outline how recruitment will be done and provide guidelines for the selection process, how the things works out and how the guidelines happens. All the details can be maintained in the policies. And in the recruitment policy of the organization, provisions are made regarding filling of the vacant post. So whatever the policies laid on by the department or the organization in terms of recruitment, they have some rules and regulations should be followed when they are hiring internally or externally. So major company what happens, the more concentration is given to the external and 40% they're given concentration in coming to the internal hiring in many MNC companies. So ordinary for filling a vacant post and internal source of the organization are given more preferences. If suitable employees are not available inside the organization, then they can go and search for the external people outside the organization. Coming to the good recruitment policy should consider the following objectives. So they have some recruitment policy should be maintained in order to have a proper flow in the workflow in the organization. The first one is organizational objectives. So whatever the policy is laid on by the department or the organization, the main concentration should help the enterprise in achieving the goals. Whatever the goals in the organization, the main norms should be achieved in a better way. So it is the manpower of the enterprise which facilitate the achievement of objectives. So what are the objectives all about? How they can reach it? While devising a policy, it should be designed certainly help in reaching the organization goals. If you're making a policy as an senior position in the organization, so make sure that should reach with the prospects of objectives. The achievement of the objective should be considered when making the policy. That is all about the organizational objectives. Coming to the second point, identifying manpower needs. So there should be identification of number, type of person required in the enterprise. So all the details should be collected before looking out for a candidate. How many people are they looking out? So what is the head count? Yearly, how many are they recruiting? Is there any uncertainty like uncontrollable situation? The recruitment can happen in between. So all this should be maintained. Are they looking out for a skilled or a semi-skilled employee or less skilled employee? Or if they're looking out for a software supervisors with a well education, qualification, experience should be conveyed in a such a way that there is no issue when they make a policies. So the type of job and the section or department where they will be deployed should also be known beforehand. Before doing any type of policy, what type of job are they making an policy or making an advertisement? Will it be suitable for which department? So it should be conveyed according to the policy laid on by the organization. And the next one is sources of recruitment. So how the recruitment process should form? Is it, are they going for internal hiring? Are they going for external hiring? Internal sources, external sources. So according to the policies, they say that try to look out a candidate who are suitable inside the organization with the existing workforce. If they are not matching with their profiles, or if they are not matching with their experience, anything special skills they are looking out, then they can go and opt for the external sources, which can be talked in the further videos. So criterion for selection, how do the selection process, even they have some policies that criteria should be maintained in a proper way. So there may be a guidelines from government, example reservation of post on caste basis, reservation for minorities, which will also form a part of a recruitment policy. So government has made some norms that there should be a reservation for particular post. So this basically happens for the government sectors, and many of the MNCs they may not follow this type of a criteria selection. And the next one is cost factor. The cost involved in the recruitment process should be taken into consideration while framing recruitment policy. So, any profile, if you are looking at outside the organization, it will incur a huge cost. Inside the organization, the cost might be controlled. So it may be very costly if you look out a person outside the organization, because in an organization they need to advertise in newspapers, medias, job portals, that will incur a separate cost. So recruitment policy should be considered on the cost factor also when they are justifying in the policy. The instant recruitment through employment exchange may be very cheap. The cost involved in recruitment process should be properly assessed, clearly assessed before making any part of a policy. And the next one is influence of trade unions. So trade unions are the people who always tell about the employees' thoughts, employees' views, what are the employees' ups and downs in terms of their benefits and also their requirements. All these things will be shared with the union people who take care of the suggestions of the employees. Unions are basically called group of employees form a separate system where they can share their views and ideas about the job or about the rights. One person were taking an initiative and talk about the among the team. So in the recruitment of higher grade post in the organization, trade unions exert their pressure favor of internal candidates. If they are looking out for a higher full profile jobs, it's preferably trade union people will be getting to the point. So it's prefer if you go for the internally people. If any, if they're not suitable, then you can go and find, find it a person external sources. So these are the different good recruitment policy issues. Students, thank you for watching this video.